Today we're going to talk about E. coli. E. coli, the actual name for it is Escherichia coli, and is one of the most pathogenic strands of E. coli. There are many strands, but this one is the most well known because of it's been around and it does a lot. According to the EMSL Analytical Incorporated Lab, the E. coli is a rod-shaped, and it is found in the lower intestines of warm-blooded organisms. And if you can take a look at the diagram that I've got for you there, you can see the rod-shaped, and then you can also see the tails, which are the flagella, and the flagella are what propels the bacteria through the bloodstreams and through the systems. E. coli has been found in many things such as raw hamburger, alfalfa sprouts, lettuce, game meat, cheese curds, just a lot of different things, and they're finding different things all the time that E. coli gets into. The symptoms, as stated in the Illinois Department of Public Health magazine, The Health Beat, it says in there that children are more likely to get symptoms of E. coli than adults, simply because the children's bodies have not built up a resistance yet as much as the adults have. So therefore, the bacteria gets in and affects them quicker than it will an adult. A lot of the symptoms are severe diarrhea, painful abdominal cramps. It starts out with a watery diarrhea, and then it goes into a bloody diarrhea when it gets even worse. Along with that becomes nausea and vomiting. Sometimes people get the symptoms, but they don't have a fever, or they have a real low fever, so they think that they don't have E. coli because they don't have a fever to go with it. And fever doesn't always come with E. coli, so therefore they don't treat it as E. coli until they get a little worse, and then they realize that they actually do have E. coli. Some people get infected with E. coli and the bacteria, but they don't show any symptoms, so they don't know that they're sick, and then they intertwine with other people, and then they actually pass the bacteria on to somebody else because they haven't realized that they have it because they don't show any symptoms. The illness itself will usually resolve itself in 5 to 10 days, so it will just kind of come and it will go on its own and it will go away unless it gets into your kidneys and other organs, and at that point, then of course you're going to be hospitalized, and it could be sometimes even death. The transmission of these bacteria, one of the biggest things that we have found is in uncooked ground beef and pasteurized milk. Also, a lot of the times of the drinking water, the E. coli gets into the drinking water and people drink it and don't realize it, and they get the bacteria. Or even swimming holes like ponds, lakes, whatever. Even around here, we've had lakes shut down already this winter, this summer, because of E. coli being too high in the lakes, and the people weren't allowed to swim in the lakes. Bacteria is usually present in stools. That's why when children and younger children have it, if you don't have good, clean hygiene and don't dispose of everything properly, it can be passed on from one child to the next child simply because they have not done the proper disposal or the proper hygiene. They have found that a lot of the bacteria gets into the raw milk, and the reason for that is because the farmers they don't wash the cow's udder completely and disinfect it before they put the milkers on, or the machines aren't properly cleaned and the bacteria is in the machines, it gets into the milk, and then a lot of times farmers don't drink pasteurized milk, they just drink it out of the bulk tanks, and therefore they get E. coli because it hasn't been taken in and pasteurized and done away with the bacteria. How can we help to stop spreading of E. coli? One of the things is definitely to do proper hygiene, make sure we wash everything, make sure we keep things clean. dispose of all the waste and stuff like that. We don't want to give the bacteria any chance at all to be able to grow. Another way is to make sure we cook all meats thoroughly. Steaks have been known to have E. coli, but not usually, because when you cook a steak, the bacteria stays on the outside of the meat. It doesn't go down into the meat, it stays on the outside. So when you cook the steaks, the heat kills the bacteria, so therefore you don't get any, or most of the bacteria is killed. However, with hamburger, the meat's all ground together, so now you have the bacteria ground into the middle of the hamburger. So if you don't cook hamburger completely and thoroughly, then you have a chance of E. coli still living on the inside of the hamburger versus doing it with a steak. And another way is for the farmers to help clean up their farms and do the proper hygiene and everything in the farms, which a lot of farmers are doing today, and they're going to milking parlors and whatever to make it as clean as they possibly can. In January of 1993, E. coli was taken seriously when 3 children in Washington State went into a restaurant and ate some undercooked hamburgers in a fast food restaurant. That's when the people in the United States started to say, we got a problem here and we need to work on it. Since that time, there's been about 73,000 illnesses and 50 deaths per year in the United States. And that's according to the Microbiology Assistance Approach, the 2nd edition. So I hope you've been informed a little bit about E. coli, and you've learned a little bit about E. coli so that you can help to prevent E. coli, or to help when you get the symptoms, to know when you do have it, and help the better off. Thank you very much.